energy. We want to open meridian pathways that connect heaven and earth. And that is a technique, actually, to improve vision. So just jiggle a little while. I'll tell you a little story while we do. I went to a Tai Chi class maybe 3-4 years ago. Tai Chi teacher walked out, a master actually. His first sentence to the group was, "We age first at our joints," which I contemplated briefly, and I thought, you know what, he's right. You know what his second sentence was? The best thing you can do for your joints is shake. So just a little while longer. Just find all the tight places in your body, shake them open, relax your shoulders, relax your hips, and so forth, and simply shake. A few more moments. In Qigong, we have the sound ha for the heart. It calms the heart. So if you want to join me 3 times, inhale deep through your nose. Sigh out the tension. Ah. And once again, inhale deep. Ah. One more time. Inhale deeply. Fill the lungs. Ah. And then slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Good. And then we'll just ground the energy. Let the arms rise. Inhale deeply. Be mindful of your neighbors. Exhale, the hands float down. Just soften your knees. It's called drawing down the heavens. Very simple. You just inhale and you gather the light that's above you, the light of the sun and moon and stars and planets and galaxies, and you draw it down to earth. Relax your shoulders. Ground the energy. Clear your chakras, your whole energy field. 2 more times. Inhale deep. Gather. Exhale, relax, clear your energy field. And then one more time, inhale, as if collapsing a rainbow, form a pinnacle of light. Draw all the colors of the rainbow down through the core of your being. Good, then just pause, just feel for a few moments in your body. See if you feel more energy flowing from simple shaking. Very good. Inhale deeply. Exhale, you can open your eyes. Please come to sit. And let me take a little sip of water here. I want to do one more thing here that maybe has never been done at satsang. First, a poem from Rilke. It's about vision, by the way. For the one who watches, everything is revealed, not in haste, but in the quiet field. Let your sight be soft, your vision wide, and see the world from the inside. So with your eyes closed, go inside yourself. In our program, we work with inner vision and also outer vision. We're going to take a little journey with an instrument called a didgeridoo. It's designed to bring you inside. Om is the sound of creation, yeah? It said didgeridoo is the sound of the earth. Very grounding. So go on a little journey inside as I share sound with you. For a few moments, rest in stillness. Bring attention to the breath. Breathe and understand you are alive. Breathe and understand everything is helping you. Breathe and understand you are the world. Breathe and become one with the earth below you. Breathe and become one with the heavens above you. Breathe and become one with the air you are breathing. Breathe to renew all the cells in your body. Breathe to renew the depths of consciousness. Breathe to be fully in this present moment. Slowly, slowly now lift your hands to your heart center. Breathe in and out of your heart. This is where heaven and earth energies balance. As you breathe in and out of your heart, add in a little smile, corners of the mouth. Breathe joy into your heart. And as you breathe joy into your heart, add in gratitude and also love. Breathe joy, gratitude, and love into your heart. And then from the heart center, where heaven and earth energies balance, where joy, gratitude, love reside. 3 ohms. Inhale. Om. Inhale and exhale. Release your hands. Thank you, everyone. Just a little tune in. The point being, whatever our practices are, I think for myself and for Mark, speaking for Mark and myself, the heart has to be central. In Chinese medicine, the heart is the home of the Shen, the spirit. All the meridians run through the heart. In Qigong, it's the balanced place of heaven and earth. Yoga, for that matter, as well. You have 3 chakras above the heart, 3 below. So cultivating clear energy at the heart is also important for clear vision. Our tagline is actually clear vision, clear mind. So I could add in clear heart as well. Anyhow, I'm going to hand it over to Mark. He has a little lecture, and we're going to go into the nuts and bolts also tonight of vision improvement for you.
Hello? Okay, can you hear me? First, let me start with deep gratitude for the Sivananda Yoga Retreat Center for having me and Daniel here over these last few days. And I just want to say this is probably the best place ever to do vision improvement work on many different levels. And one of the beautiful things was to be able to do meditation and chanting before giving a talk. Because I've been an eye doctor for 45 years, and okay, what am I going to do in 20 minutes? And to give you the nuts and bolts of practices that you can take with you. And I sat and I cleared my mind, and 3 words came: grace, reverence, gratitude. So what I'm going to integrate that is how can we be in the world in a state of grace and have reverence and gratitude? How can we see with new eyes? Because the nuts and bolts of optometry, ophthalmology, the tools of our trade are the following: glasses, contact lenses, surgery, medication. We are very well trained in those 4 areas in how to treat eye conditions. But you hear what I just said, eye conditions. We don't treat the eye. We need to treat the person behind the eye. What I tell every patient is a premise. The first premise, and this is all scientifically proven, is that embryologically, physiologically, neurologically, the eye is brain tissue, is an outgrowth of the brain. If we believe, and science has shown, the neuroplasticity of the brain, then we have neuroplasticity of the eye. In multiple personality disorders, all the different personalities had different prescriptions. Very interesting. I believe that we're all multiple personalities. It's just the level of degree. In Chinese medicine, we have the 5 elements: fire, earth, metal, water, wood. This isn't the course in Chinese medicine, but we have all those 5 elements within us. It's just the level of degree which is most prominent. So deciding where we look from and who we are and letting vision come to us, not us go to them. Do we pay attention to the discernment, to the signs that Spirit gives us? And then do we act from there? It's by no chance that when I was 16 years old, I got a message from Spirit, and I remember like it was yesterday, that I should become an eye doctor. I had no idea what I wanted to do. And then 16 years later, after I'd paid off all my loans and had a busy practice, I was at a friend's house, and in the middle of her living room was the first book on Chinese medicine in the United States, called The Web That Has No Weaver. Like a lightning bolt, it hit me. The book looked at me, I looked at the book, and I said, I can't believe I got to go to acupuncture school now. Oh my goodness. But it wasn't licensed in New York State at that point. So I called my friend who's an acupuncturist. And I said, I got the calling. I have to go to acupuncture school, but I'm not going to risk my license. He goes, guess what? Next year it's going to be moving to New York State. And it'll be in New York City. So if you go now, you'll be one of the first licensed acupuncturists in New York State. So I didn't have a choice. I just went with what Spirit told me. And there's so many more stories like that in my life that if I really pay attention, and how can we learn to pay attention in this visual buffet of nature? Then we develop discernment. Can we see something different every day? Can we taste something different every day? Can we hear something different every day? Build your senses. Vision is the dominant sense modality. So it gives us all these different choices. Oh, thank you. Very nice.
You like another slide?
I'd like another slide. Helen Keller. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight, but no vision. Vision happens in the mind. Sight happens in the eye. And think about it when you go to the eye doctor and we put you behind that machine in a semi-dark room looking through little holes. And we say, which is better, 1 or 2? 2 or 3, A or B? And you go, oh my God, I don't want to get it wrong, because I'm going to get these glasses or contacts, and I don't know if it's going to be right. So you go 1, 2. But isn't it interesting that different people answer it differently? The metal type, the archetype for the metal type, the analyst, the accountant. They're the ones who say, oh, 1.5 is better. And the top of the E is a little, a little thicker than the bottom of the E. While the water type in Chinese medicine says, it's about the same. It's about the same. But the eye doctor, we're really trained well to measure things. But we just give you what we think you see best with. See best which is clearer. But is it really important to say which is clearer? As opposed to the second question, what feels better? Because I believe that 80% of prescriptions that doctors give are too strong. And what happens when you go back to the doctor and you say, I can see with these, but they don't feel right. They say, you'll get used to it. And you do, and then your eyes get stronger and stronger glasses. So, vision happens in the mind. Sight is something we just measure. So vision corresponds to all our senses. We don't just see with our eyes. If any of you are familiar with Alex Gray's work, you see eyeballs all over the body. And we can do acupuncture points here, and guess what? They light up in the visual cortex on a PET scan. So acupuncture, Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine knows that we see from all parts of ourselves. Another thing that I learned at dinner today and taking the yoga classes here was that many of the classes start with eye exercises. That is so good. But you know really why it's so good? Because if you release the tension in the eye muscles, you will release tension it's the easiest way to release tension in the body. If you learn to have receptive eyes and look with soft gaze, then you're in receptive mode. And then you have more of a chance when we go into the infrastructure to have union with the inner and outer vision. Next slide. I had to have a quote from the Dalai Lama. In order to carry a positive action, we must have a positive vision. If you can believe it, you can conceive it. If you think your eyes are going to get worse, they'll get worse. So we need to have a positive vision. We need to have attitude, belief systems as we go into the world. Because if we don't, then we will create that negativity. So a positive vision is super important to what we want to do in life. Next. Vision is the art of seeing what's invisible to others. For those who are familiar with some of my books, one of those books is called The Magic Eye. And in those 3D audio stereograms in which you relax your eyes, a hidden image that's not there when you just look comes out. It is a way of putting your mind into alpha, into creativity, into a way of reception. And it's like a sneaky way to learn to meditate. Because as we meditate, we try to get into alpha rhythms. So vision, being the art of seeing what's invisible to others, is that you might take a walk on the path and then you say, oh, did you see that? Did you see that? Oh, I didn't see it. So paying attention, discernment, looking at the differences in the things. And it's not just in vision. We were doing a vision walk and on the beach the other day and closing our eyes and just taking in different ways of seeing. And I said, oh my goodness, you know what? I was paying attention too much to the wave sounds, which was beautiful because I sort of knew just by the sound how far it was. But because I just focused my hearing on that, the same way we just focus our vision and become very myopic and narrow sight and not seeing the big picture, I wasn't hearing the sounds in the trees. I wasn't hearing the cacophony of sounds in the trees and the sand and the waves and using all my senses simultaneously while my feet were on the ground. Taking it all in was like a conscious ecstasy. And when you get conscious ecstasy of having all your senses combined, that is the essence of creativity. And I believe that creativity, especially in music, art, and dance, is the only thing that's going to save the world. Because these are ways of looking at the world, always changing, always building on things. So vision, art, and dance, expose yourself as much as possible to that. I also start most of my classes with what do I believe where disease comes from. It's not disease, it's dis-ease. Dis-ease in the body, mind, and spirit. And I believe that all dis-ease in the body, mind comes from relationships. Relationships to the stars, to the environment, to our family, to our friends. The goal of every Chinese medicine treatment is balance and harmony. And when we can walk through the world, through meditation, the principles of yoga, and walk through a state of grace, and a state of reverence, and a state of gratitude, I feel that we'll be in balance and harmony, and energy and prana will flow. Next slide. I do give out my personal email to people who have questions, which is drgrossman2020 at gmail.com. And if you email me, you'll see that I sign all my emails with this quote. The question is not what you look at, but what you see. I'm not even going to go into that. Just take that in. The question is not what you look at, but what you see. Am I just looking at an apple? Am I just looking at a forest? For those of you who've read The Secret, I think The Secret Family of Trees, I forgot it, I've just listened to it on tape. And I started learning about the family of trees and how they network, the mycelium, the mushrooms, fantastic fungi, a movie that one of my, not the colleagues, but one of the people who lives near me put together, tells about how we are all interrelated and how the forest is all interrelated and how they're alive. And then after listening to that book, I walk through the forest in a whole different way. Next. And here's the epitome. As Daniel said, the eyes are the windows to your soul. In Chinese medicine, we call the eyes the Shen, the pilot light. All the meridians, as Daniel said, go through the heart. But guess what? All the meridians go to the eyes. So when we look from a heart center, and we look through a heart center through our eyes, we can actually see what a person's soul's journey is. The eyes, the eyes of a baby, a child, looking around, curiosity. The eyes of a serial killer, vacant. You get a lot of information from the eyes. And then let's get the curiosity even more. And I'm going to give you some homework. The homework is, what about the right eye? What about the left eye? In Chinese medicine, the right eye, the father, male eye. The left eye, the mother, female eye. The yin, the yang. Both living in the same house. But do they get along? Do they work together as a team? Are they on different time-space continuums? So I'm going to give you quickly, in a little bit, my test for that. But I just wanted a message from yesterday when we listened to that beautiful presentation. And one of the presenters talked about EMDR, inner vision, outer vision. The use of eye movements to help bring trauma to present time so the therapist can work with it. Do you know where I think that's from? Eyeballs get trapped in time. The eyes are your video cameras to the world. So what happens, I was with a patient about 25 years ago, and I just said, just follow my finger. just to work on their tracking skills. And then all of a sudden, she started getting flashbacks of being beaten by her father. I said, oh my goodness, they didn't teach me this in optometry school. So I put my hand down, I just sat with her, I breathed with her, and I didn't do that. Years later, I heard about EMDR. And I said, oh my goodness, eyes are the video cameras and can hold the trauma. So I believe that the eyes can, when you have a trauma, whether it's taking care of a sick person or getting into a car accident, the angle of gaze that you're looking at that moment of trauma, you go into a near-death experience. And a near-death experience cuts off the breath, and time slows down. And then you go back to regular time, but it's still held in your cellular memory. So the breath, using sound, chanting, this can help in different eye gazes, can help open up and release that trauma. So EMDR is a very, very powerful modality for working with the eyes as a tool for releasing trauma. But back to the right and left, and then I'll give it over to Daniel. I have 3 experiences I give people. I have them cover an eye, and they look in a mirror, and they ask themselves the question, is the image looking at me, or am I looking at the image? And then I have them cover the other eye. Is the image looking at me, or am I looking at the image? Next question, how old does this eye feel? I had one patient, she said, this eye felt like it was 200 years old. How old does this eye feel? Oh, it feels like a teenager. Again, there's no right answers, there's no wrong answers. There's this curiosity to explore what your eyes are telling you. Third question, you look at space, whether it's in the mirror or in the world, and you say, I'm looking at that chair with my right eye. I'm looking at the chair with my left eye. Does the chair seem closer to me or farther away with one eye versus the other? Interesting inquiry. Well, if there's a difference in space, according to physics, there's a difference in time. So one eye works on one time-space continuum, and the other eye works on another time-space continuum. So again, we want to know why we have imbalances in our perceptions. This can be a signal or an inquiry to why. And again, when I see people and they have cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, nearsightedness, there's no one size fits all. The question is, why did they develop it? Why did they develop a cataract in their right eye before their left eye? We're not taught that in school, but the why is important. So we are going to give you the infrastructure of practices that you can bring to your new way in exploring seeing in the world. Thank you for your attention, and I'll give it over to Daniel.
The one thing Mark was leaving out is he was legally blind.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
And he cured his sight. I met Mark, and I've reduced my prescription by 70%. So there's very practical, realistic, daily things you can do to improve nearsightedness, farsightedness, cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, and so forth. So I have a little slideshow that will go through some of what we shared with our workshop this past few days, but I have to change to a different thing here.
Yeah, so what happened was I started wearing glasses at 3rd grade, and I couldn't see the big E on the chart. Now I'll be 70 this year, old this year, and I passed the driving test. I could read without glasses. I've worked with thousands of people, so it is possible in every eye condition to try to, let's not take power away from ourselves. We can help heal. We should be our own healthcare advocates.
Okay, so here we go. Clear vision, clear mind. When we work with the exercises in the classes or the practices or the protocols, or we're working sometimes on the physical level. It's purely physical, working with the body. The breath is a very big help, and we work with the breath with certain eye exercises as well. The mental part, that's maybe the meditation part, very important. And the spiritual part is also an important of vision improvement. But the physical, the body, breath, mind, spirit coming together, we work on those four dimensions of being in all the practices. I won't read this to you. I'll just read the top part. Ultimately, attention is the true power of vision. The focus of our attention may be placed within inner and outer landscapes to various degrees of depth and levels of scale, and with many degrees of intensity. I think Marc references inner and outer vision already, because they go hand in hand. It's body-mind integration, really. My eyes are the earth gazing at itself. I am no less than the earth itself. That's when you're really getting to the higher levels of body, breath, mind, spirit becoming one. Yeah. Which is really yoga. Yoga is union. Body, breath, mind, spirit become one. I think the way Alan Watts put it, he said, the universe is you are a vortex through which the universe is looking at itself. It's a pretty interesting place to get to if you've ever had that experience of the universe looking at itself. In any case, when you look at yourself, or you are the eyes of the earth gazing at itself, you want clear eyes to see clearly things, in focus, so to speak. So we work with the infrastructure that we've come up with for working with better vision. We call it the 5 Bs. From Meyer Schneider, who wrote Yoga for the Eyes, vision is a whole body experience, not just the eyes. When we move, relax, and breathe, our eyesight improves naturally. Our eyesight can improve with exercises, but developing habits that support excellent vision lead to faster and longer lasting results. So the 5 Bs are habits. First one is balance. And that just kind of goes without saying that in our daily life, whether we're seated, standing, meditating, whatever you're doing, skiing, a balanced spine is so important. Iyengar put it this way. He said, focus on keeping your spine straight and balanced. It is the job of your spine to keep your brain alert. The spine, the eyes are just part of your brain. So a balanced spine really helps improve vision. There's a little quote from Aldous Huxley, by the way, was legally blind and cured himself using the Bates method. The Bates method was from Dr. William Bates, early 20th century. And he was so impressed by the results that he wrote a book called The Art of Seeing. And he's talking about the Alexander technique, which works specifically with posture. And F.M. Alexander records cases in which myopic children, that's nearsighted children, regain normal vision after being taught the proper way of carrying the head and neck in relationship to the trunk. It's not like you're just going to do it once and you get clear vision and the myopia or presbyopia or anything else goes away. But this is the infrastructure. Work on balance, so important. I've already talked about breath, and I won't say more about it, but we work with breath in our workshops, and I work with it in my practice and teaching yoga and qigong and so forth. God gave you the breath of life, and you live with shallow breathing, and out of life you expect deep results. It's not possible. The art of deep breathing is also the art of real living. That's the second B. The third one is blink. Believe it or not, we don't blink enough. So to make that a habit, you can try it on. We call it butterfly blinking. There's a little butterfly over there. Another quote from Aldous Huxley. I'll just share it. Eyes in a condition of dynamic relaxation blink often and easily. But when there is strain, blinking tends to occur less frequently and the eyelids work tensely. Anyone who wishes to acquire the art of seeing well must cultivate the habit of frequent and effortless blinking. Seems simple, but we encourage our students, and I encourage myself to make it into a habit. And you'll notice when you have your glasses off or lenses off and you do some of the protocols we work with, and you start to get flashes of clear vision, blinking really helps. This one's interesting. Brush and shift. We normally stare too much. We don't see something clearly, so we stare, and it locks the eyes up. And so we're training students and people in our workshops, and I work with the technique myself, to make the vision soft and let the vision come to you rather than straining to see. So we call it brush and shift, because the eyes shouldn't stare, they should shift around. And then it's very interesting. Vision comes, It's not, funny kind of way vision comes, because subject-object duality starts to melt away when your vision is more soft. Because normally it's just me, I'm looking out, I don't see clearly, I'm staring, that's out there. But somehow, when you soften the gaze, and things start to happen. Beaming, this is a good one. The 5th B, that's just smiling. And smiling relaxes the muscles in the face, and it helps improve eyesight, believe it or not. So the 5 B's, we say, become habits, not just do once in a while, is to work on your posture, balance your spine, work with breath, cultivate long, deep breathing, and free breathing, we would say. Brush, blink often. Brush, learn ways to soften the gaze. And then smile, beam. Yeah, because light comes out the eyes as well as comes in. Oh yeah, and then in our group, there were some other exercises we did with the group. We do near-far focus exercises. We do convergence and divergence exercises, and many others. But we combine it into taking vision walks, where maybe you take off your lenses if you wear lenses, or take out your contacts if you have contacts, and you go. It's recommended 2 hours a day in natural light. And and this is a beautiful place to do a vision walk, because you can walk on the beach and not, run into someone or bounce against something or be in danger. But you work with all these techniques, and you look off in the distance, because our eyes are really set for distance vision, but we're too close up, and that's resulting in a epidemic, actually, of myopia. They're saying myopia is nearsightedness. People can't see up. They can't see in the distance because they're so locked into seeing what's into near focus with screens and phones and computers and so forth. So here you can look off in the distance. It's a beautiful horizon, and you can maybe do some shifting, look a little close, look a little farther away, and you start to get flashes of clear vision without your lenses. And then you realize it's possible. And we've seen many, many people, through application of not just the 5 B's, but more specific exercises, really fix vision. Let's see what else I got. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Reduce screen time. The figure on the upper left is saying, what are you doing? To the man or person below. I'm using my device. What is your device? My device is the sky. Does your device have many applications? Yes, it has sun, moon, clouds, and birds. And you have to recharge your device very often. I don't ever have to recharge my device. It recharges me. So we need to get off our screens. We need to be in more natural light. We need to practice the 5 B's. There's other exercises to practice depending on your condition, because nearsighted people might have different exercises than farsighted. And as Marc was commenting, you treat the individual, it's not just a cookie cutter thing, but there are exercises and protocols and cultivating habits that really help. As I commented, I've reduced my prescription quite a bit. Rarely wear glasses now, just at night for driving and maybe the movies and so forth. And Marc was legally blind and cured himself. There's a documentary, Vision 2020, and it interviews 17 vision educators. It's very inspirational to see these are 17 people that are vision educators. Some of them are eye doctors or ophthalmologists and so forth, who fix their vision, and now they're sharing with their clients. And they all have a little bit different angle. Some are more Bates methods, some are more acupuncture, some are more Eastern, some are more yogic, some are more this and that. But they all have, it's inspirational to see that it's possible to do. You can do it. I don't think I gave the statistic. They're saying by 2050, 50% of this world population is going to be myopic. That's, what are we talking? 4.5 billion people needing lenses. But as Mark was commenting, you go to an eye doctor, they don't tell you you can fix your vision. They just give you a prescription. Is it better? A, B, 1, 2, and usually it's too strong, and then you go back a year later and they increase it, and then so on and so forth. Very, very, very few eye doctors are going to say, let's try some vision improvement exercises before lenses. Because mankind, if they test, primitive societies or people that don't wear glasses in a modern society, only less than 2%, even less than 1% need lenses. But 90% of people in China in young age are needing lenses, Japan as well. And if it's 50% of the world becoming nearsighted because of function, what we're doing to our eyes, it can be fixed because it's not part of our genetic makeup per se to have bad vision. It does take application, it does take work, and there's many, many books out there on it. The books are also inspirational to read because then you realize, well, you can do it. Read The Art of Seeing, Aldous Huxley. Went from basically, legally blind to being able to, see without glasses. I'll just end with this one. This is from Laura Sewall. She wrote a book, Sight and Sensibility. She was an ecologist, and she got tired. She wore glasses, and she liked to kayak, and she was out in the Olympian Sound, and, salt was spraying on her glasses, and she just got sick and tired of not being able to see what was there. So she got in her car, she drove down to LA, she found a Bates method teacher and spent a month or two working on her eyes till they got to be 20/20. So it can be done. And she says here, this kind of summarizes in a very good way of where we are here, because slow down. Go to a place of beauty. You are in a place of beauty. Breathe. Let your muscles do nothing, and then let that sensation seep into your bones. Imagine your spores opening your skin, permeable, a thin veil between your heart and the world outside. Breathe. Soften your eyes. Let your attention be wide. Listen, then soak in color and feel texture with your eyes. Give your attention to the golden glisten of pine needles in sunlight. Let your care roam over a landscape, flexible, both focused and soft. Let your practice be this simple, and do it often when you can. It also means you have to, if your lenses are, you have to make friends with the blur and do some shifting of attention and different ways of seeing, and clearer vision starts to arise. So this is a beautiful place to do just this practice. Slow down, go to a place of beauty. Breathe, soften your eyes, let your attention be wide. Because that's the interesting thing for me, because it's really a daily practice working on my eyes. And it transforms one's being, because the habits I had that created my bad vision, I have to dispel or go through or release. And then I have to face, repair the damage that was done. But some of the habits were, in my case, being afraid to, closing down because of things happening in my family, and learning to be more brave and more open and not be so closed down and protected. So there's the emotional level, of course, as reflecting the body-mind continuity, the physical level as well. We're not going to get it tonight, but we did do in our class Chinese eye massage. This is a very practical technique to work with acupressure points around the eyes. There's a protocol, and we did it with our group. I think we did all 3 days, but this goes along with another technique named palming. But we did the Chinese eye massage, a really practical way to work with improving vision. I think that's about it, actually. Yeah, Mark?
A couple things that relate to the yoga teacher trainings and the yoga teachers is that there are studies that alternate nostril breathing and right nostril breathing and left nostril breathing will reduce eye pressure. So I feel that every eye doctor, and these are like definitive in the journals of ophthalmology, that there are studies. So I feel that every eye doctor should be recommending alternate nostril breathing and meditation for myopia, nearsightedness that's continuing, and especially glaucoma. Now, why in those conditions as opposed to macular degeneration? In glaucoma, it's like the energy is usually coming up, creating liver stagnation. The liver meridian relates to the eyes, and the energy is stuck because they're feeling so much pressure. So the eye pressure goes up. So by doing alternate nostril breathing, you're stimulating parasympathetic, increasing nitric oxide levels, and that's why we also talked about mouth taping in our class. By increasing nitric oxide levels, you're increasing circulation not only in the eyes, but in the heart. So there's physiological reasons for this. And myopia, as Daniel said, right now, 80 to 90% of children under the age of 14 are becoming nearsighted in China and Japan. If that's not an epidemic, nothing is. And why? Because they're using and abusing their eyes at a close distance. So by taking them out of that, and the condition, I call it NDD, nature deficit disorder, the only thing that they've shown to be helpful is to go outside. If they go outside, that has been helpful for myopia. But meditation, alternate nostril breathing, yoga in general, but those, and the breath, of course, and the spine, as Daniel talked about, but there's definitive studies on that. So if you go to your eye doctors and your yoga teachers, say, hey, if you need the studies, I'll send them to you, and then hopefully your eye doctors will then refer patients to you for yoga. So I just wanted to put that in.
Yeah, I think we can probably close here.
You want to do a closing?
Yeah, we'll do a closing. I'll just comment also, in the Sivananda yoga system, they do the yoga eye stretches, which are amazing. I've added in Kapalabhati with eye stretches, so I have a whole way of working with, because Kapalabhati brings oxygen to the brain, it oxygenates the blood to the brain, and your eyes are just extension of brain tissue. So if you do Kapalabhati while you do the eye stretches, I teach it that way. It's really, I think, a powerful combination. So let's do a closing here. And Mark and I will be hanging out if you want to talk a little bit or have questions. Also, I'll put my computer out if you want to put your email down. I'll send you a PDF of
the 5 Bs.
The 5 Bs plus, the PDF you did of eye exercises, Mark.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's a 10-page eye exercise thing. Stuff we didn't even go through here. Just really practical things to exercise your eyes. Please bring your hands to Heart Center. Close your eyes. Go inside yourself. I'm going to end with a prayer from the Navajo Indian tradition called the Blessing Way. I'll just say the words, you do the visualization. Love before me. Love behind me. Love at my left. Love at my right. Love above me. Love below me. Love unto me. Love in my surroundings. Love in the universe. Love to all. Light before me. Light behind me. Light at my left. Light at my right. Light above me, light below me, light unto me, light in my surroundings, light in the universe, light to all. Peace before me, peace behind me, peace at my left, peace at my right, peace above me, peace below me, peace unto me, peace in my surroundings, peace to the universe, peace to all. For a few moments, feel held by love and light and peace all around you, above you, below you, left, right, before you, and behind you. God's grace. One Om to close. Inhale. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May true peace of the heart bring peace among all peoples of the world. Namaste.
Thank you so much for your attention, and once again, gratitude to Sivananda for having us have the opportunity to share our work with you, and hopefully we'll come back next year sometime.
So I'd like to thank again very much Dr. Marc Grossman and Daniela Orolansky for this beautiful presentation. Let's give them another very big hand. We're very grateful for both of them for coming and presenting this beautiful research and teaching and practices for the first time here at the ashram. And we'd like to take the opportunity also to bid farewell to both of them, as they're both leaving the ashram tomorrow. So we'd like to wish them a safe journey and a great success in all of their work and practices. And by God's grace, we look forward to welcome them back at the ashram very soon. So let's give them another very big hand. And all of the guests that are returning next year you have to come with no glasses. After it's 1 year of practice to testify. By God's grace. So now we'll go over the schedule for tomorrow. So tomorrow morning we'll have the morning satsang here at 6 a.m. And Swami Shambhu Devananda Ji will be sharing teachings on yoga and health. 8 o'clock we'll have the yoga classes, intermediate. Tomorrow we'll have a small change in the class location. We'll have the TTC class on the beach platform. And then for the guests, we'll have the intermediate class here. A special class was our priest, Krishna Nambudri, on the garden platform. And the beginner's class on the Bay West platform. 9:50 the brunch. 11 o'clock the ashram welcome and history tour, leaving from reception. At 12 o'clock, we continue the series of workshops with Theodore Sorvosis on healing the light body, exploring shamanic medicine. 4 o'clock, the yoga classes. In the afternoon, the intermediate class will be back on the beach platform, and the TTC is here on the garden platform. 5:50, the dinner. 7 o'clock, the chanting of the Bhagavad Gita, followed by a short study in the main temple with Swami Sharavananda Giri. And at 8 o'clock, tomorrow in the evening satsang, we are starting a new program. It was a first-time presenter here at the ashram, Dr. Akhil Palanasimi, who will be teaching a program on integrating modern medicine in Ayurveda to boost longevity. And Dr. Akhil Palanisamy is a Harvard-trained physician who practices integrative medicine, blending his conventional medical expertise with Ayurveda. And he is also a widely sought-after speaker and author of the Tiger Protocol and the Paleo-Vedic Diet, a complete program to burn fat, increase energy, and reverse disease. So you'll be starting the several-day program tomorrow night in the evening satsang. So now we'll conclude with the final prayers in the Arati on page 98.
Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Om Peace, Peace, Peace. O adorable Lord of mercy and love, let us abide in Thee forever and ever. Om Bolo Sadguru Shivananda Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Shri Guru Vishnavananda Maharaj Ji Ki Jai. Please stand up for the Arati. You can follow along on page 118. Om Jai Jarati Vinna Vinayaka Vinna Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jai Jarati Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jai Jarati Venugopala Venugopala Venulola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jai Jarati Venkataraman Venkataramana Sangataharana Sitarama Radheshyama Jai Jarati Gauri Manohar Gauri Manohara Bhavani Shankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jai Jarati Rajarajeshwari Rajarajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jai Jarati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumantaha Jai Jarati Dattatreya Dattatreya Trimurti Avatara Jai Jarati Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jai Jarati Shanishwaraya Shanishwaraya Bhaskaraya Jai Jarati Shankaracharya Shankaracharya Advaita Gurave Jai Jarati Sangurunata Sangurunata Sivananda Jai Jarati Vishnudevananda 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 Jai Jarati Agastya Munaya Agastya Munaya Shirama Priyaye Jai Jarati Ayyappa Swami Ayyappa Swami Dharma Shastave Jai Jarati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jai Jarati Muhammad Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samastarevyo Namaha Jai Jarati Venugopala Om Natatra Suryo Bhati Nachanda Tarakam Nema Vidyotabanti Kato Yamagnihi Tam Eva Bantamanabati Sarvam Tasya Bhasa Sarvendam Vibhati Om Gange Chayamune Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Namastabhyam Namo Namaha Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Chasaka Tvameva Tvameva vidyadravinam Tvameva sarvam Mama Deva Deva Kayena Vacha Manasen Driyarava Buddhiyat Manava Prakriti Swabhavat Karomi Adiyat Sakaram Parasmai Narayanayeti Samarpayami Sarvadharmam Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshaishami Ma Sutra. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you very much, everybody at home, for joining us for this beautiful evening satsang. Have a good night and sleep well. Everybody here, please help us in tidying up the satsang.